I never thought I'd be telling this story. Some moments feel too delicate, too fragile to put into words. But this one, it refuses to stay quiet. Every time I try to set it aside, it lingers in my chest like a song I can't forget. And maybe, just maybe, sharing it will help me make sense of what happened. So before I dive in, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay with me, because what started as something ordinary turned into a moment I'll never forget. It all began one late summer evening. The sun was slipping low, painting everything in warm amber light. The wooden porch boards still held the heat of the day, and I hadn't bothered to turn on the lights yet. The air carried that heavy quiet that only comes when the world slows down. That's when I noticed him, Ethan. He was crouched down on the steps, leaning over a cardboard box that had been dropped off earlier. His worn boots pressed against the wood, his plain white t-shirt clung lightly to him, and there was that same easy half grin I'd seen so many times before. The kind of grin that said he wasn't in a hurry, that he didn't take life too seriously. I leaned against the doorway, arms crossed, watching him. "Since you're already down there," I teased lightly, "mind bringing it in for me?" He glanced up, eyebrows raised. Not annoyed, just curious. That was Ethan. He didn't waste words when he didn't have to. I didn't explain, didn't offer more. I just stepped back and pushed the door open wider. He picked up the box effortlessly and followed me inside. As he passed, his shoulder brushed mine. It was casual, unintentional even. But it wasn't careless. And it left something unspoken behind, something that hung in the air between us. The house didn't feel so quiet after that. Ethan stood in the entryway, still holding the box like he wasn't sure where to set it. I nodded toward the living room. "Over there's fine." He placed it gently near the end table, as though it mattered, then turned back toward me. I lingered near the kitchen, pretending to fuss with nothing in particular. "Water?" I asked, my voice a touch lighter than normal. "Sure," he replied. His voice was steady, slow, unhurried. I felt his eyes on me as I moved. The hem of my sundress swayed just above my knees, brushing softly as I leaned forward and opened the fridge. When I turned, he was already at the counter, waiting. I handed him the glass, our fingers brushing as it passed from my hand to his. A small thing, but noticeable. He drank and set it down. "Nice place," he said quietly, his gaze lingering on the space around us. "Thanks." I leaned back against the counter. "You in a rush today?" He shook his head. "Not unless I need to be." I reached for another glass, my arm brushing his again. This time he didn't move away. His hand rested casually beside mine on the counter. Close, but not too close. "You always hang around this long?" I asked, a playful lilt in my voice. "Only when I'm welcome," he said, eyes steady. I didn't pull my hand back. Instead, I leaned in just slightly. "You haven't overstayed yet." He shifted a little closer, just enough for his pinky to brush mine. Barely a touch, but I felt it. My heart beat heavier in my chest. I looked at him, searching. He didn't look away. Slowly, deliberately, he lifted his hand and took mine in his. His thumb brushed lightly over my skin, as if testing the weight of the moment. Then, without rushing, he raised my hand toward his face, pausing there like he was considering something. For a brief second, he held it close, then let it go gently. His other hand settled lightly near my waist. He didn't press. He didn't push. He was just there. And that presence felt louder than any words. I touched his chest briefly before letting my hand fall. My voice came out softer than I intended. "Would you mind closing the curtains?" Without a word, he moved across the room and pulled them shut. The quiet deepened. I touched the necklace at my throat, grounding myself in the stillness between us. When he turned back, I found myself stepping closer, almost without thinking. The pendant slipped from my fingers, and my hand rose instinctively, settling near his collarbone. That's when it happened. Our lips met. Not rushed, not demanding, just quiet, simple, certain. His hand rose to my shoulder, steady and grounding. Mine lingered near his chest, feeling the steady beat beneath my palm. Neither of us moved too much. We didn't have to. The silence carried more weight than anything we could have said. His other hand rested behind me, not gripping, just present. Our foreheads touched for a brief second, that pause between moments where everything seemed to hold still. When he looked at me again, I knew. He didn't need to say it, and neither did I. He glanced toward the counter, then back at me. I gave a small nod. That was all it took. He stepped forward, gently easing me onto the edge of the counter. The motion was slow, deliberate, certain. My knees brushed against his sides. I lifted a hand to his face, drawing his gaze back to mine. Our second kiss was slower, deeper, more certain. This time we weren't wondering. We weren't hesitating. We both knew exactly what we were saying without speaking a single word. My hand rested firmly on his shoulder. He stayed near my waist, steady like a quiet promise. The hush in the room wasn't empty, it was full of everything we hadn't said but had always felt. When he finally pulled back, his eyes searched mine again. I nodded once more. He helped me down gently, his hand still lingering as though to make sure I didn't step away. But I didn't want to. We walked together into the living room, steps soft against the floor. We sat side by side on the couch, close enough to feel the warmth between us. Neither of us said much. We didn't need to. My hand found his shoulder. He leaned in, brushing his temple against mine. Not hurried. Not desperate. Just steady. Just right. And for the first time, I realized what this moment really was. It wasn't about rushing forward or chasing what came next. It was about being seen. Truly seen. About letting someone close enough to know the quiet parts of you, the ones you usually keep hidden. A soft sound escaped me, unplanned and surprised, like I had only just discovered how deeply this moment reached inside me. His hand found mine, warm and certain. The room faded into stillness, leaving only us. I tilted my head back, closed my eyes, and breathed it in. Because sometimes, the most unforgettable stories aren't the loud ones. They're the quiet ones, the ones that play out slowly, deliberately, until you realize you've given someone exactly what they wanted to see. And you didn't hold back.